I think a good art teacher is one who stimulates the child to do his or her art.
These are thoughts of Reinhold Marxhausen, an art professor at Concordia Teachers College in Seward, Nebraska. Marx, described by many as an eccentric inventor, often hitchhikes with his wife cross-country.
Well, I hitchhiked a lot when I was in the service. That's during World War II. There were a lot of people who hitchhiked, and hitchhiking was kind of a popular thing. And I know I've talked to quite a few people lately who remember hitchhiking when they were in the service. And so I did a lot of hitchhiking then.
Marx's inventions have been featured in the Museum of Contemporary Crafts in New York. He was also the subject of a nationally broadcast documentary entitled Findings. He is frequently recognized by drivers who pick him up during his journeys.
Someone picked me up recently who recognized me, and I went in the cab, and he said, I know who you are. I recognize you. You're that artist Marxhausen, and I know your work, and I think it stinks. And he said, I'm just going to leave you off down the road a piece. And he talked about my work, and so I was a captive audience in his cab, and he had the power to tell me all the bad things that he wanted about my work. And in fact, he got so involved in all of this that he drove 50 miles all the way to Omaha before he left me off, and he had to go all the way back to his town. But the whole time he was spewing out all of his negative feelings about the contemporary sculpture on the rest stops in Nebraska, and contemporary art, and how he felt about me and so forth. And so that's interesting too.
Marx believes a good art teacher encourages a child's individual creativity.
Instead of telling the child exactly what to do, the teacher allows a certain amount of latitude. And I remember a student in college telling me of a teacher who had the children fold a piece of construction paper down the middle, and then they cut the corners off so it made a Christmas tree. And it was green construction paper. And they all the children folded the paper down the long way, the way they were supposed to. One child folded it the other way so that this girl's Christmas tree came out real short and fat. And all the rest were long the way they were supposed to. And guess what? Everybody ridiculed this one person, like, oh, you did it wrong. Your tree is fat, and your tree is ugly, and it's bad. And this child remembered all that pain, and the child cried, and now this child was in college in my art class, and she still remembered that negative experience. It really turned her off.
The artist also feels that adults can learn from children. In the eyes of Marx, adults have forgotten how to relax. He says adults need to study their smaller counterparts.
I think most parents grow up and they want to be adults, and they have to keep that image of being adult, and that play is really regressive activity, and they don't want to regress and be like children. They want to keep the adult status, and I think it's really too bad.
Reinhold Marxhausen, artist, philosopher, teacher, and inventor.